Hello and welcome to Pack 3. It's the High Needs Home Learning Pack. For English, you can see we're going to practice your reading skills, do some matching words and then fill in a postcard. For maths, I want you to do some number ordering, looking at money, comparing sizes and completing a tally graph. And for independence, you're going to be looking at your independent skills to make a sandwich and maybe wash some clothes as well. I also want you to look at some jobs that you could do at school and ways that you could build those skills and use those skills for employment. For PSHE, I want you to think about why you are brilliant and unique and turn it into a song. And for physical development, I'm going to get you to look at some core PE skills today, lots of simple exercises to help you improve in all sports. And finally, for our EHCP targets, I'd like to think about some extra things you can do at home which will improve on your independence and help you go towards those EHCP targets that you have. Okay, let's start with independence then. So it's making a sandwich. You are going to need some equipment such as a knife. So I do want you to check that it's okay that you use this. Have some support if you need it or have someone watching over you. Before you do it, there is some activities where you're going to cut out and stick things to make sure you know the right order. So you need to get some scissors out, get your glue out and make sure you're putting them in the right place. And we also need to wash up if we're doing any sort of cooking. So again, we've got an activity here where you can cut and stick to make sure that you do know what you're doing in terms of your washing up before you actually do it for real. Okay, then we've got looking at here, we're going to look at washing our hands afterwards. There's also a nice little activity to describe why we need to wash our hands, so thinking about getting rid of germs. So what it says here is draw some pictures on those bubbles to show why you should be washing your hands. We've also got, again, another activity, cut and paste and put it in the right order so you know what you're doing. Washing your clothes. Now this is a little bit more high demand, but it's great if it's something that you can do. Again, do make sure that you ask permission first and make sure you get some support for the first time you do it, because if it goes wrong you could shrink things or turn them a different colour. So we've got some information here that you can read through with someone from home. We've then got some directions with widget, and it gives you some information about why we should be washing our clothes. We've got some clothes here, and you're going to use these in an activity to talk about how often you need to wash these different types of clothes. Another activity where you're going to put things in order so that it demonstrates that you do know how you wash clothes. Another activity here for independence then is about getting ready for school. Now you won't be getting ready for school if you're at home doing this one, but you will be getting ready for the day. So it's good to practice getting ready for the day, and we've got some ideas here: getting up, washing your face and getting dressed. Again, think about what order you need to be doing those things, and cut them out and then stick them on. Then we've got things like walking to school, driving to school. So not all of these will be relevant to you, just pick the ones that are relevant to you. We've got a boys routine here as well. Then we've got some activities for yourself. So think about your own routine, which ones you would do. Think about the clothes that you wear. We might not wear a shirt or tie, so pick out the ones that you do wear yourself. This will help with your vocabulary, so that's useful too. But we have got lots of different words here, so you can learn some extra words if you want to. Moving on then, we're looking at employability skills. So we have different jobs within schools. For example, the librarian, which I know some of you did last year. So if you think about that library skill, what did you need to do? You need to know the alphabet. So I've got some names here, and I want you to cut them out and put them in order of the alphabet. Okay, another activity. So we've got another job in school, which is the kitchen assistant, and they need to measure the temperature of the fridge. Is that something you can do? Well, let's have a look. Here's an activity where you're going to try and write down the temperatures. So get some help with this. If this is something you can do, maybe you could apply for that kitchen assistant job in school. Employability skills. So looking at a garden helper, we have the most beautiful allotment area, and we do need post-16 students to try and help us with that. So digging up potatoes and sowing the new seedlings. So let's see if you do know. Here's some words at the bottom. See if you can match the word to the sentence. If you can, and it sounds interesting, maybe apply for that placement. Right, I want you to think about these sort of questions. So that I like working outside. I like doing physical work. Is that you? Yes or no? Put a tick or a cross. And if you have six or more ticks, I think you might want to work in our school garden. So let me know. That's Sally, and we'll see if we can put you on the gardening team. Right, another job I have. At the moment, I'm holding this myself, which is quite difficult. I'd love someone to be able to record me while I make these videos. Now, if you would be happy to do this, what you need to do is to practice with someone else. So try and practice some recording videos at home. You might have a telephone that you could use and you could take a recording. So try not to be too shaky. Try and focus on the person. If you enjoy doing it, come back to school and tell me, and you can give me a hand with the next one. Right, this is personal, social and health education. And we want you to think about the reasons why you are special. We've got some lovely activities here. So I want you to just draw yourself first and do some descriptions if you can. The things that you enjoy, draw or write them on here. If you want, you can cut out these out. We've got lots of options, but I'm happy with you drawing or writing. As a special poem then, so you're going to write a little bit about what you look like. Then I want you to think about, looking up here, why we're all different. So whilst you have, or I have blonde hair, other people have dark hair. So we want you to think about what makes you special. What colour are your friends' eyes? What colour are your eyes? Are you the same? Are you different? And what sort of hair do you have? Is it straight? Is it curly? What colour skin do you have? What languages do you talk at home? We have an amazing amount of languages that are taught by both students and also the people that they live with. So have a think about the things that make you particularly special and similar or different to your friends. And because actually you can see here, it's a celebration that we're all different and we can learn about each other's differences. So what I want you to do is to think about your name and someone else in your home. So things that are similar would be in the middle. Maybe you've got a similar eye colour or similar hair colour, but maybe you like different things. Maybe your favourite food is different, and pop them in this Venn diagram, which is actually a mathematical term. So we've got different things here again, so you can sort these into the Venn diagram if you want to. Moving on, sorry, just going to grab this next page. We've got some PE activities. So we're looking at some core movements. These are very useful because they will help you with lots of different sports. So this one in particular is going to build up your leg strength, which I know you'll need for things like running or for your football. So lots and lots of activities here to build up the strength of your legs. Then we've got some more activities here. So squatting, sitting and resting. You can see really what is expected here. Now, here we've got a bit of a chart, so you can try and do more each day to improve your strength, and then you can see that later on. Throwing for accuracy, so again, throwing important for basketball, for netball, for lots of different activities. So we're going to do some exercises which are going to help you with those particular skills. We've got some instructions here written in widgets, so that can help you. We've got targets here. They've just used a bin and a little box here. So again, choose what you want. Try and aim for the target. What could you do if you don't have a ball? You can just roll a couple of socks up. Or it's got a massive ball here, and do you know what he's made that out of? He's made it out of a pillowcase filled with old socks. So we don't have to have a ball for catching, but we can still practice those skills. So again, nicely described in widget. We've got some games where you're not just throwing but catching with a friend, stretching out, pulling it back into your chest. You can get closer, you can get further away, lots of different options there. Right, the next one is about agility. So it's about running as fast as you can and then running back as fast as you can. Now you might have to do this in the house depending whether you have a garden or not, or depending whether the weather is nice enough for you to go outside in the garden. So at this time you're going to dodge down, weave in and out. You can see it's not a messy garden. They've popped their toys out so they can weave in and out of those, so that they can show that they're a bit more agile. Again, it's useful for lots of team sports, thinking about football, weaving in and out of people. So a good task for you to learn. Right, the final thing then is we're looking at these additional learning and EHCP targets. So I've got things like, I know at home with my kids, I put the times tables up and down the stairs so that every time they went up and down stairs, they could try and practice their times tables. And for English, if you've got post-it notes or maybe just some paper with some sellotape, you can stick notes on the sofa or cupboard or anything, any words that you want to learn. Have them around the house so you can learn some of that vocabulary. We looked at different work placements at school. I would love more people to apply for some of those placements in school. Think about the things you can do at home which could be used in a job. For example, if you're washing up at home, well, people get paid for that working in kitchens and cafes. If you've got pets that you're feeding at home, well, there are real jobs in rescue centres where you can help look after those pets. So do some activities at home that could be useful in a paid job. I'm also thinking about some friends and relationships. So could you write a postcard to a friend or relative this week? Could you try and be a little bit more independent this week, thinking about preparing your own lunch by practicing those sandwich making skills? Can you remember to brush your own hair? Could you put your own dirty laundry away, or maybe even wash the clothes if you've had that support, as we've looked at this week? And think about the right diet. I do talk about your well-being a lot as part of Post 16, and part of that is eating a balanced diet. So while we're not being able to get out as much, it is important that you do eat healthy healthily. So fruit, vegetables, juices, and making sure that you get a mixture of those things through the day and some activity. It really will make a difference to your mental health and also your immune system. Okay, that's the end of Post 16 High Needs, Book 3. Okay, this is High Needs English for week 3. We're looking at some maths. So we're going to start with cutting up these numbers and putting them in order. Next thing I want you to be doing is, I want you to be looking at matching the picture to the number there. So lots of nice activities that we can do. We're also going to be looking at money. So you're going to point at those, see if you can draw some lines. You might want to cut them out if you want to and stick them on. You might want to draw them, see if you can recognise any of those. Then I want you to figure out how much these cost. So count the pennies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pence for that ice cream. Pretty cheap, I reckon. Do that for all of those activities. Gets more demanding. Do get help if you need it as we move through the booklet. Okay, we're now looking at addition. So that's adding. We want you again to name some of these. We did this yesterday. We've got some different ones here. Add them up. 2, 3, 4, 4 pence. What's with these ones? So we're going to look at those. Then we're going to look at some key terms. Big, small, larger, because these are all words which are helpful in terms of describing. So can you compare the items in this picture by size? So which is the small dog, which is the large dog, which is the small dog, which is the small ball, which is the big ball? Do that with someone at home. Again, ordering things in size this time, so not just the biggest and smallest, but put them in order. We've got another activity here, put them in order, the watermelons. I know you've done some of these in class, so you should do this fine. Tally charts then. So can you do a tally chart? There's a reminder of how to here. Now I want to tally up the animals. That would be fantastic. Then we're moving on for the next day. We're looking at the autumn tally chart. So lovely pictures here. So you should be practiced from the last activity. So do some tallies here and then write the number as well. Okay, we're then going to move on. Last activity, it's pictograms. We're going to be doing some counting of fruit. So again, we're going to go back to those tally skills and then you're going to turn it into a pictogram. So we're going to draw the number of bananas up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I want 7 bananas up on this chart here. And that will be the last one. If you do want to push yourself, you can ask yourself some more tricky questions, again with support. But otherwise, that is the end of your High Needs Pack 3 Post 16 Learning. Okay, this is Post 16 High Needs. This is the English work for this particular week. So it says you're going to use pictures as well as words. So you can see here, it's a matching activity. So you can use some drawing to match things in. A kid in a cap, that's going to go there. We've got some more here, again, using your pens to line those up. Moving through them, we have, can't get that page. What's this one? We've got word building. So this time we've got some nice information. It's in widget. You've got pictures as well to help. So I want you to look at the picture, look at the letters and figure out what's missing. So this is tap, app, tap. So there will be an A here. What's this? It's a pin, put in a pin, and work your way through these activities. If you need help, then do ask for it. And also you can bring this in to show your teacher what you have done afterwards. Now we're going to do a little bit of role play. Now we all love a little bit of role play. So you're going to imagine that you're going to a travel agent's and you're telling them where you want to go. So you've got the choices here. If you've ever looked at that book, Choose, it's a little bit like that, but an Ellesmere version. Talk about how long you want to stay, how many adults are going. So practice this sort of communication with someone at home. Okay, we've got some more details here, so you can do more than one session. Maybe you can take it in turns to be the person, the travel agent, or the person doing the going on holiday. Now we're going to be looking at types of transport. Okay, so we're going to have a bit of a game to start this particular session. I Spy Transport, so you can play with someone. You know how to play I Spy, I'm sure. So one person says, I spy with my little eye something to do with C. Curly cur. Well, it's cars. It's a bit easy, that one, isn't it? Right, see what ones you can come up with. Okay, we've got some matching ones here. Aeroplane, is that this one? No, you know it's not. It's this one here, isn't it? So draw those lines to link those words and pictures up. We've got some more here. Again, we're looking at vocabulary. Now I want you to look at just the words and see if you can draw the pictures. So go back if you need that support. We're then going to look at discussing the airport. No one's going far away at the moment, I imagine. However, One day we hope to again. So let's talk about the airport. We've got some pictures here. Someone will read these questions out to you and discuss what happened. Maybe you have been to the airport yourself. You can talk about that. We're then going to look at some sentence building. So what you're going to do is you're going to rearrange these words into real sentences. Has apples the red tree? Well, unless you're Yoda, we don't normally talk like that, do we? So the red tree has apples. We've got a capital letter at the start. We've got a full stop at the end, lots of clues. And your knowledge of sentences should help you. So have a go at putting these in sentences and then write them down underneath. Okay, we've got lots of activities there for you to do. Finally, well, naturally not finally, we've got 2 more lessons. One of these is spellings. These are some very common words. So look, say, so the, look, say and write. So you're going to write it down there. Say it, the, and trace it, cover it all up and write it there. See how you get on. Okay, we've got a few here for you to do. We've got a few here on this page. Don't do them all on the same day necessarily. Do a few each day. But they are all useful words for you to be able to spell without support. Right, moving through to our last one is about our passport. So a nice activity here. This is what the passports might look like. We've got a blue one. Yours might be red at the moment. And I just want you to use the skills that you've learned to fill in that information there. And that's the end of High Needs English for week 3.